Actually, I was in denial for quite a long time because in my mind, I always thought that Elise would live at home with us. Until she kept getting bigger and I wasn't getting any stronger.
I thought I was going to be able to keep him at home with me until he was 21. But his behaviors were too aggressive and I couldn't deal with them anymore.
I have a chronic disease process, so I'm disabled and it's hard to keep up with, which is hard for Kay because I can't do the walks and the physical activity that she enjoys.
He'd run out right in front of the house, pull his pants down and sit down in the middle of the street. And he would not get up for anybody or anything.
Sometimes he got mad and then he tried to hit the babysitter, and sometimes he tried to hurt me, but he's bigger than me and then I can't take care of him.
Grabbing a hold of me and kicking and hitting me and anything and everything that he could think of to express the way he felt because he couldn't communicate.
It became sort of difficult to care for her, lifting her in and out of her chair. I almost dropped her one time because I was by myself. My husband was away at a business trip, and I realized that I wasn't really able to do that anymore, and that was putting her at risk.
We were all very, very nervous. I mean, it's very scary. But Joe and I are older parents, and it was a matter that how long are you going to be around for them?
I'm 65 years old. When I'm gone, who's going to look after Cindy?
I mean, I loved having her at home because then I knew everything was just the way it needed to be. But, you know, there's a certain point when parents have to realize, or maybe I had to realize, that I really couldn't do it. I couldn't do everything anymore. I needed some help.
It takes a little bit of adjusting to know that your child is not normal in the sense that she's going to progress at a normal rate, and you want to do everything you can to get her moving. And for a while, you hold this belief that if you do enough things, that sooner or later she's going to get past this, and that she'll be functioning at a normal level. And then after you spend some time with that, you realize that this is going to be a lifelong process. So it's essential that she build herself a kind of a support web, so that when we're gone, that she's not totally lost.
Well, I mean, the network of support for people with developmental disabilities in our community is looking at the whole person and all the supports that individual needs and all the gifts that person brings to our community, and how can we help bring out the gifts and support the needs and have that person be as valued a member of our community as possible. So there's support for housing and residential opportunities, there's vocational options, there's recreation activities, there's mental health services, there's support for children and families. There's just a wide array of supports for people with developmental disabilities in our community. Your child has all the same needs as every other child, and they've grown up in your home. They're ready to move on to the next step. You want them to be healthy and safe. You want them to engage in the community. You want all those same things. So the main options for the foster home would be run by a private individual who opens a home to serve people with developmental disabilities in a family type of setting. The next level of care after a foster home might be a group home, where some of the group homes would form around a particular need that a group of individuals might have. We have medical group homes that would serve the medical needs of individuals with more specialized challenges. They may have nurses on staff, they may have specially trained staff to deal with whatever the care needs of that individual are. We also have group homes that specialize in behavioral needs. If someone has unique behavioral challenges, there may be specialized trained staff to address those challenges in the home setting. Or we also have generalized group homes that would serve just the general population.
All right, fish is coming to get me.
And then supported living, it'd be people living in the community in their own homes or apartments, the care provider would come to them. That's good. Whether it's a supported living option or a foster home option or a group home option, you're still wanting the same things. You're wanting your child to grow and progress, and become independent, and have the supports they need to be healthy and safe.
The foster care is smaller. It's more of tight family.
This is Erica, and this is myself, Halina, and this is Becky, and this is Cindy right here, and Michelle. And we are the
Four musketeers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 musketeers.
All right.
I've known Erica for 20 years. Her mom put together, before she passed away, a circle of friends. And so those people till this day are still a part of Erica's life. The whole thing about her moving into a house kind of came from the circle of friends and her aunt. And we all had kind of come together and decided that it was time for Erica to make a change.
I live at my own apartment, and it didn't work out.
She did that for a couple of years, and it was a disaster pretty much. She ate all the wrong foods. She could not keep a job, and she made friends with people who took advantage of her.
How did you feel about living in that apartment? We talked about it's kind of scary living there all by yourself.
It was a little scary. But Michelle had to hit bottom first before she asked for help.
It was awful. I mean, the rock bottom. I mean, like, sometimes you go days without food sometimes because you don't have any money. Sometimes is the truth.
But she had resources for money, but she gave a lot of it away to her friends.
Yeah, my friends, yes.
So it wasn't that she didn't have money, she didn't use money wisely.
Yeah.
Knowing this is the best thing for her and getting her to agree with it, those are two different things. And you can't force a person.
Becky had a lot of fears when she first went into foster home, but it just went beautifully.
This one, and then wait, stand back. I'll just. Thank you, Becky. All right, you guys are good helpers. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, this is my friend Cindy right here. She's my best friend.
Cindy, one of my residents, for example, she moved in here. She was, she still is, but she was kind of out of control diabetic. The food was the most important thing in her life, with exercise and just changing the way she views food. Why? Because
it's cooked.
It's very good. To lose 100 pounds in 5 years without dieting, I think that's pretty good feeling.
Good job, Becky.
Okay, hang on. With Michelle, I think that her ability to get along with others, making friends.
She had to learn how to behave all over again, and Halina had to do a lot of tender loving care with Michelle, and it took a long time. It wasn't an overnight thing. Halina worked very hard.
Yeah. She helped me
How to get along with
how to get along with people, socialize with people.
and how to keep a job.
Yeah, and keep a job too.
Erica, just being able to talk and express and become friends. She was kind of shy in the very beginning.
It's kind of nice having a grown-up like your mom to be able to go to and say and ask questions.
She is like my mother.
And Becky, she's just bouncy, loving, friendly, hugging, just wonderful, wonderful person. And she's just always very, very happy. Yeah. So she's just part of our family too.
Becky's made a lot of progress since she's been here just because of the stimulation of having high-functioning roommates.
Just hang on to it and just give it the haircut. Right here? Yeah, right there, perfect.
Her social skills and verbal skills.
Good job.
She doesn't have so many of the behaviors that she had before, like hitting herself. You know, when she wanted to express something, she'd hit her leg or slap her leg or stomp.
But I think the change comes within themselves. You know, they feel successful, they feel happy. 1, 2, back step, 1, 2, back step, and then you go, boom, like that, and then it's your turn.
It is really like a family situation. So,
Very much so.
And Becky always talks about how she loves her roomies and how and she loves Halina.
I love it. I love being in a foster home. I mean, you gotta find the right one. You gotta find the right foster home who's gonna take care of you the right way.
Green beans and some pretty flowers, okay?
She helps us by cooking good foods from the garden. And I love all of her foods.
She takes you fun places.
She takes us fun places, like to the coast sometimes.
Halina's place, it just fits her. So a lot of it depends. It has to be a good fit for both the child and the home.
You no longer worry about her all the time. We had a lot of sleepless nights at home with her, and I haven't had a sleepless night for years, so it's been wonderful.
It is a fairly traumatic change because you've protected this child for all of these years, and then you're going to kick them out into the world, and you're not quite sure what they're getting into.
It's a hard decision, but one that you have to make them. But then I've been making hard decisions for Cindy all my life.
We never knew what it was going to look like for us or for Ryan. It just seemed very hard to imagine that there would be a place that we would be comfortable having him go to live at. There are lots of things that I thought, oh, he should be able to do this, or we should be at this stage, or those kinds of things, but it was just perfect timing. I think waiting longer, it could have gotten harder rather than easier.
We really tried to give him a room that he's comfortable in, and plenty of things to remember of things that he's done.
For basketball.
That's right, with Special Olympics.
Having talked with some people throughout his growing up years of what would be important, it just looked like this was the kind of house that he was going to fit in really well. He did come here and he spent 1 or 2 nights to check it out and see how comfortable he was, as well as whether he was going to be a good fit for what they envisioned this house having, you know, the people that would work together or live together and be roommates and pals and family.
We wanted folks who were close to our age, that were loved community activities, that they have a great sense of humor, like to have fun, you know, and who would all grow old with us, really, and really just become part of our family.
We wanted him to have a place where they were going to value him also spending time with us. You know, we're still mom and dad, and we still want a lot of time with Ryan, and so we were able to make that a priority as well.
One of the things we've always prided ourselves here is that we want the family involvement. You know, working with the county, we had that opportunity to sit down with the families as we met them and met their sons and daughters, and to make sure that the families felt comfortable, because yes, our clients live with us, but there's an extension, there's their family.
He thrives on the family atmosphere that he's gotten here, with the staff having their own children involved in different things, and him being able to be involved in their lives as well.
We enjoy it. We enjoy the family environment, you know, just sitting down to a family-style dinner.
He seems more independent in a way. He seems to take a little more responsibility for himself and what he does.
What are your chores? Tell me what your chores are.
Making lunch.
Making lunch. Okay, what else do you do to help us?
Have a cook dinner.
What else?
People that know Ryan have commented on how much easier it is to understand his speech now, because he had to make himself more clear by living with people that didn't understand and anticipate his needs.
You know what they want even before they're going to ask you. You know that they're thirsty, and for the son or daughter to be able to tell somebody, you know, I'm thirsty now and I'd like to get something to drink, and then we say, well, go help yourself, you know. It really makes, it's a growing spurt for them. I think they really come out of their shell, and they actually grow even further than what the families, I think, were expecting.
It has been an opportunity for him to meet new people and to just be one of the men of the house.
That's right, Bird?
That's right, Bird.
Want to say hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Bird.
It's amazing. It's amazing how they make you feel.
For Taylor, things have to go very slowly and very sort of systematically so he can predict what's going to happen. We would come and visit together for a few minutes at a time, just be in the environment, and we did that for a while. Then we'd increase our time, and I'd stay with him to, you know, model for the staff how to interact with him and to modify the environment for him as needed.
All right, fish is coming to get me.
The staff were very flexible with us, and I am a busybody, and I'm in here all the time moving things around and saying, well, what is this doing here? So they're very, very flexible with me. Part of my challenge has been letting them do things the way they do them as long as it's not a problem. When he was living with me and when I'm around him, control for noises, control for, you know, have very calm interactions most of the time. And there have been some staff that he has really, really liked, and they're more boisterous, and you know, he gets a little more excited and a little louder, but he's okay with that, and they're okay with that, and they've been aware enough, you know, they've learned how far they can go before he gets too excited. So it's not my style, and I don't prefer it, but it's his relationship with them, and it works. He's been so amazing and grown so much since we moved him here that it doesn't seem like he's stopped developing. Do you know what I mean? It seems like I'm just really impressed with every year I look back and say, wow, look at all these things he learned this year. Look at how the changes he's made, you know? It's always kind of positive. Since he's moved here and had different kinds of relationships with a bigger variety of people, he's more flexible. And the staff here has been pretty good about being consistent about certain behaviors, like Taylor likes to greet, and he'll greet somebody 100 times, you know. But since he works with a dozen people who are all saying, remember, you say it one time, you know, now he's learning these skills because he's getting reinforced from a variety of people instead of just, oh, that's mom. You know, that's what mom says.
Did you have a good day at work?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you do? Shredded paper. That's your favorite, huh? Did you eat a snack there?
Yeah.
All right. Did you put together color wheels?
Yeah.
He works working, and he enjoys that a lot. He's very proud of it, and he talks about the people who are there.
Poke the middle out. Peekaboo.
Everybody knows the people that I don't know him, and he has conversations with people there. And so, you know, he does a lot just out in the world.
We had fun at the picnic. Oh boy.
You having fun?
Hi, Kathy Leslie Mayne. Are you doing great? Yes, you are, and I like that. Makes me happy. Thank you.
It was a sudden decision
It was not one that we said we're going to sign up for something so in 5 years down the road we can put her in this home. Well, I had investigated different homes before this in Corvallis. I had gone and visited some, and of course I didn't want to let her go, so I wasn't impressed. And I didn't stay long enough to really learn about them and to see what they were like. We were very fortunate to be able to have found this on the spur of the moment, because you just don't really do that. And to have her accept it, too.
What speed?
In a small group home, you actually get a much closer ratio, so that you can almost get one-on-one care, at least certain times of the day, which is really helpful.
I just remember when we first came, the people, and brought her that night, the people said, "Oh, we'll take such good care of her. Don't worry. Go home and don't worry about it." And they were just so kind that I did feel comfortable about it. And she wasn't fighting it either. And that made a big difference. If she'd been hanging on me sobbing, I might have a harder time to have done that. But she wasn't.
It's not that you're just dropping a child off, you're actually putting them into a caring facility.
If you feel like this person and they're not going to do every single thing for your child that you do, that's not going to happen. There are other patrons in the home who need their help also. They can't be everywhere at once. And they are willing to try, though. And that willingness is what makes a big difference, I think, in when you find something that you really do come to know and appreciate, that they have a willingness to try to do everything you're doing at home for your child.
I love that I'm actually able to take care of people and make a difference. And I also love the fact that I get to participate in something that actually began in my family. My uncle was developmentally disabled and moved into a group home toward the end of his life and flourished there in a way that he never had at home. He had actually withdrawn into himself, essentially watched TV, and his famous words to me were often, "Go away." When he got into a group home and had social interactions with peers, he started playing basketball. He started running around. I didn't think he was capable of it. I had no idea. And so I get to continue kind of that process and being involved in people's lives and getting to see them flourish in a way they might not be able to with an overworked parent or family member.
These children are not incapable of learning some things. There are things they can learn. And I don't think they always get that in the home. I think that helping them find that in a group home can help that child grow and maybe reach a bigger potential than they can in their own home.
Our house was like a hospital. My husband and I were kind of like tag team. We would help take care of her, even through the night. There were so many times where she would have seizures or she would choke, and we would be alerted and get up in the middle of the night. And she needs round-the-clock care.
We have 24-hour nursing, from LPNs to RNs, and we have a nursing supervisor. We do anything for her that she couldn't do for herself, which is just about everything.
The training that they have to have in order to work in a facility, it's extensive.
There was an opening at Stone Street House, and we said no the first time because I wasn't ready. I just did not want to let go. And then a second opening miraculously came available, and my husband and I sat down, and he goes, "You know, Fro," my husband was saying this, "we really need to think about this because you're going to be injured, and more importantly, Elise will be injured if, you can't pick her up and an accident happens."
Elise gets a lot of two-person care. When she coughs, we're right there to wipe up any mucus. If she's having a seizure, we have a magnet for her VNS, which is a vagal nerve stimulator. The neurologists and some medical professionals feel that slows down and not stops the seizures. Due to her bones and some other medical issues, she can't be moved with a mechanical lift. She's always a two-person scoop lift, so it takes two people to move her from place to place.
Stone Street was very wonderful to us. I mean, they made sure that we had lots of discussions and meetings about what her care was involved. I brought in lists of things that we did all the time, and they looked at the lists and they incorporated them into their procedures, and they were very open to all of this. They're also very friendly and wanting to make it just right for Elise, just like all of their clients. They want to make sure that they get what they need.
We're a facility, but we also try to be a home. And so just trying to provide that type of atmosphere as well as basic needs as well. So.
If I have a question or I have a problem, I bring it up and we discuss it and we get it resolved. I'm not one just to say, oh, I wish this would be because it would be better for Elise. No, if my family's important to me, I want my kids all to have the best.
Ask questions. Ask lots of questions. Don't be afraid to make your point known. You know, if you feel like there's something that's important that we should be doing, then you need to be very vocal about that and not try to worry about upsetting us, stepping on toes, and those kinds of things.
I feel like everybody we've worked with Elise, they take into consideration what I have to say because I've been taking care of her, or my husband. He's been taking care of her. The whole family has, what we say has been listened to, and I felt that they thought it was important and good input. So I appreciate that, people have not just brushed us to the side, say, oh, you're just the parents, you don't know anything. They've really listened to what we've had to say.
Each person's a little different. So we could take very good care of people, but we're not going to give the same type of care at first that the parents were giving until we know their child. Their advice, tutelage, and information is probably the most valuable asset that we have in learning how to take care of someone.
So you also can be as involved as you want. We wanted to go take her someplace. We're willing and happy to do that, and they're willing and happy to let us do that.
Her parents are very involved in her life. They take her to the movies, they take her out to eat, they come here and do her nails and do her hair, take her for walks around this community and other places.
Just because your kids move up and go away doesn't, or they move to a different house like Stone Street, doesn't mean that you don't love them. You can love them just as much as if they were living in your house. You don't have to say goodbye. You're not throwing away the key.
You're not abandoning them. You're providing them with a future so that when you're no longer there, there's a lot of people around who already know them.
Especially in the beginning, I was very nervous about it, and I wouldn't be able to go to sleep at night, and I would just get in my car, pop on over, knock on the door, and say, hi, can I see Elise? And they would say, sure, come on in, she's back in her room sleeping, and she was just there peacefully sleeping, and I would be okay with that. I'd see her for 5 minutes and go home, and then I could get to sleep.
She would, be scared in the middle of the night and want to come and visit, so. She says that she's much more comfortable now. And she sleeps at night with no worries.
You want that? Or this little table? It's up to you. You can have it. My name's Bonnie. I'm Mike's older sister. Mike is developmentally delayed, and he's hard of hearing. He lived in Great Falls for 2 years after you graduated from high school. And his roommate took advantage of him, took some money. He couldn't hold a job. It was difficult because the job situation was not supported like it is here.
Rain. Not now.
Mike came to live in Corvallis about 7 years ago. In the beginning, Mike lived with us, and I paid all his bills, and he didn't have a job. Before, he didn't have the self-confidence to do all the things that he needed to do to be independent. And he just relied on me to do them. And I would just do them because I had a family and I had a job and I had other things I had in my own life to do. And it was just easier if I did it rather than waiting for him to learn the process to do it and give him the confidence. And I think with him being in the supported living situation, they've had the patience to work with him to help him learn.
That's fine, but if you want, you can just write rent.
Oh, yeah,
that would be fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's up to you.
He pays his own bills. In the past, his bills came to my house, and I would just, I was a signer on his checking account, and I would just sign the checks. And because it was quick and easy, and I got it done. But now he pays his own bills, all his bills come to him.
Most of the people living in supported living need some help with money management skills, and Mike has done just a great job with that. He's, just in the last 2 or 3 years, you've learned how to manage a checking account.
Learn how to manage my money, learn how to pay my bills.
Now he works, and he's had the same job for 7 years since he came here. If his hearing aid breaks, he knows where to go to get it fixed, and he can do it on his own. He goes grocery shopping.
Mike and I shop. How often do we shop?
Shop once a month.
Once a month, and I assist Mike, and I provide information to him. I let him know, this is a healthy choice, this isn't such a healthy choice. And you have a truck, right, that you have to take care of?
I have a pickup to take care of. I have to take it to the garage when it breaks down and pay money on it.
Insurance?
I have to pay insurance, license plate.
So you have to be really careful with your money so you can, if your truck breaks down, you can fix it.
I have to be careful when the truck breaks down, right?
So what did they fix?
They put the transmission block
underneath the transmission block. Was it the radiator leak?
The radiator right here. The radiator was leaking right in here.
I think one of the strengths of our program is that the kind of continuing care that we can provide over the long term. I've been working for the county now for 13 years, and a number of my clients I've been working that length of time with. And so I think somebody who needs kind of a good role model, it can be real helpful for. And kind of that consistency where you know that every week I'm going to show up, and that if you've got a problem or there's something you need help with, I'm going to be there for you. So 12:30 we'll meet, and we'll go shopping.
Shopping.
Right, and then after that, we'll have our dinner. Sound good?
Good.
All right. So I'll see you. For most people in supported living, the goal is usually to live as independently as possible. He wants to be as independent as he can be, and I'll continue to provide support so that he can be as independent as he can be.
He wouldn't be where he is today without the support of Developmental Disabilities. They do an excellent job with emotional, social, all kinds of living support that you get. They support the whole person, right? All of you is supported. It's incredible. And he's involved with Special Olympics. He has friends. He's made friends that I haven't helped him with. He would ask me twice a day, are you going to move? Are you going to move? What will happen to me if you move away? And I think if I moved today, would it matter to you if I moved away?
Huh?
Would you miss me?
I missed out on there, but I'm not gonna.
But your life wouldn't stop, right?
The life won't stop. We'll keep on going.
My son has something called Costello syndrome, and he wasn't diagnosed with it until he was 12. But we knew from his premature birth onwards that he had some unusual not typical needs that other children have. He couldn't eat, he was sick. He had cancer, diagnosed with cancer when he was 6 months. He had to be intravenously fed at home. His language skills were slow to develop. Walking was a challenge. He needed prosthetics. He needed orthotics. He eventually went to school. He needed special education. He needed teachers. He had hip surgeries. He had, goodness, a lot of surgeries. He developed osteoporosis. He recently had brain surgeries. So he's had a lot of different disabilities. So physically impaired, visually impaired, language skills, and mild mental retardation.
Spare right here. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We care for him at home. We have some supports that come to the house and help with him because his needs were medically based. It was hard to find people who specialized in providing medical care who were interested in coming into the home to help with him. Finding supports continues to be a challenge at home, and we're looking at an out-of-home placement for him. And next May, there should be a home available for him to move to.
So this is our Hayes Street home, and we've got plans to remodel it. It's currently a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, and by the time we remodel it, it will be a 5-bedroom, 3-bath home. And so instead of supporting just 2 people with disabilities, we'll be supporting at least 4 people. And with the 5th bedroom, we'll use it as a staff sleeping room. So come on to this house. This rec room will be turned into 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. So there'll be 1 bedroom there, a 2nd bedroom kind of in the middle, and an accessible bathroom here, pretty large bathroom. So we're not going to do much with these existing bedrooms except for take up the carpet and finish the hardwood floors. Yeah, the ramp wouldn't start here, it would start here. The ramp, this is all going to be gone, right? So it's just, the slope will start there.
And will that door be gone, the screen there?
This will be gone, yes. Yeah. And we might even, so that hopefully this should be wide enough.
Okay. Yep.
I think behind the shop, we're going to put some concrete and a basketball hoop, which is exciting.
Yep.
And then we're going to take out at least some of this wall and this wall, just have a post there. That way it just opens it up, so visually, if you needed to know what's going on here and you're in the dining room, you can quickly see into here. So.
The other thing we haven't talked about is Jeremy's visually impaired. And so there needs to be certain light elements of some things as well. Because he, you know, and we'll be sure that we can bring some lamps and things in, but lighting, that's why I ask about windows and where they are, because he's very visually impaired.
Okay.
So he doesn't really want to move. He's happy where he is, but there are several things that prompt that. He needs a lot of supports that it's harder as we're getting older to be doing that. You know, we're noticing we don't have the energy. My health has suffered, you know, some from all the stress of all the years. So it's time to back off a little bit and let go and let him move on. And I think, you know, I'd like to see him do this while we can support him there and be sure that he gets a good beginning there and feels very comfortable there, so that when the time comes, you know, hopefully many years from now, that we won't be here anymore, that he'll be okay and that will be his home. That's a beautiful window outside, though.
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
It is, it really is.
If I'd say something to other parents, though, they need to get a caseworker as soon as possible.
I would start with Benton County Mental Health, and then they can head you in the right direction as to, funding, activities, programs, schools, different things like that.
The placement usually comes from caseworker. I think that caseworkers are a very important part of the success because they know the residents.
It's important for you to let your county services coordinator know what your future plans are. The important thing is to just call us and let us know so we have some time to put something together that fits for your child.
The earlier within reason that they move into living outside the home, the better off they are, because you're not always going to be around. And the longer that transition period is where they still have your support, I think the better it is.
We want them to be successful. We want you to feel comfortable with the placement. And a little planning goes a long way in having that happen.
Really, a family member would really need to look at their family member's needs and their abilities before determining if they should live, try to live in an apartment that's overseen by somebody. Are they that independent? Do they have those skills? Or do they need to be placed more in a 24-hour setting, because they don't have those skills to kind of care for themselves?
Everybody's different, as was mentioned. Some people can live on their own, some people try and cannot. I think that just, I would call it shopping around and seeing what different places, or different homes or different programs they are.
I think that parents, though, should investigate all the possibilities that there are out there. Go visit the homes.
I mean, you do know your own child, so and you can make judgments about whether you think they will feel comfortable in this environment or not. I think that you shouldn't, out of desperation, jump into necessarily the first opportunity that you see. I think that if it doesn't feel right, maybe look around a little bit more.
Don't just go visit with the idea of, oh, let's see if it's clean and what they're doing. I mean, really get to know what's in there if they can. If it's possible for them to go spend part of a day in the home and see what it's like.
Go and spend an evening in the house with and see how they operate on a day-to-day basis.
Know that it's not forever. If it doesn't work, that there are other options out there and different things come along.
I really think that parents do need to ask those questions and put their expectations out there.
Feel free to ask the hard questions. Feel free to really dig in and see that you get complete information.
Don't ever be afraid to do that, to ask the questions. If you're worried you're stepping on their toes, step on them, because you want your questions answered. You want to know what the home is going to offer you. What staffing they have, what kind of activities they like to do.
Will my child or family member be able to do the things that they love to do? Will they actually have the medical care that I think they should have? Am I still going to be able to visit as often as I'd like? Things like that.
Don't assume that as a parent you are the sole caregiver for your child. You're the only person qualified to take care of your child.
Know that there are staff who are trained, who are consistently being retrained.
Tell us what you want us to do, if there's certain ways that things should be done.
You oversee things and let staff know you're going to keep in touch and you're going to keep, and that everything is going well. But then separate out,
by all means, visit your child as often as you can. Particularly when they first come here, they really need that. I mean, probably shouldn't come the first couple of days so they can get used to the idea, but let them know that you still love them and care.
Also, just working to set up Kay's room. Just
Yes.
how well that went. That's just as much for you as it is for, you know, the individual you're setting the room up.
Set it up the way they like it.
They like it, what's familiar, and if you have worries,
By all means,
just
check.
politely say 'em and check.
We go into the homes monthly, and we also sometimes just drop in and check and see how things are going.
I think you just need to find some quiet time in your heart and really consider the pros and the cons. I mean, it's not the same as being at home. I can't just wake up and go into her room and see her there every day. But, you know, if I do want to go see her, she's just, you know, down the road across the street, and I can see her anytime I want.
So now he's got a life that he can enjoy. He goes places, he does things that I would never have taken him to because of the way he acted. And he does them willingly, and he goes by the rules, and he understands, and it's just incredible.
When you look at services and group homes and wherever individuals are being cared for, the number one critical issue is socialization.
That's a key thing, is this, have them have lots of social activities where they'll be with this community for the rest of their lives. So they're making lifelong friends.
Young adults are ready. They want to have that freedom to make their own, not necessarily their own decisions, but be more like the adults they see out there.
When you're around 18, 19, or 20, most people are ready to cut the apron strings and leave. And I think they are ready too. I really do. But you have to be more careful about it.
Give them a chance to grow. Give them a chance to learn to be themselves, to have that little ounce of independence that they deserve. Because that will give you a chance as either husband and wife, or even yourself, as myself, to grow and to get a life for yourself, knowing that your child is doing the exact same thing.
It broke my heart, and I really grieved, but it's worked out well. In fact, it's probably the best thing we ever did for her. For her.
You say bye-bye to the camera? Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Good girl.
That's all right.
Everybody ready?
Ready?
Yes. 1, 2, 3.
It's a wrap!
Please cooking! Yay! 5. Give me 5. Give me 5. Give me 5. Yes.
The painting in the background is really something special, because I had two friends that when they found out that she was moving said, we want to paint her room. They're artists. You know, she can't really turn her head a whole lot, and they wanted her to, you know, have something bright and cheerful to look at.
We're using gardening to help people get skills, build skills, and make friendships, and
Here's a clean one.
just get outside,
Where did George go?
fresh air.
I think he went in the other room. And so now we just make stuff out of them. You want that big a bunch, or you want to break it in half? No, that's fine. That's fine? Okay. There you go. And this is one of my favorite flowers.
Anybody seen TJ anywhere? Peekaboo! There he is.
Okay, put it in the box. All right, get another one. All right, here we go. You're doing a lot of work today, aren't you? Put that one in the box. Put it in the box.